to getting free publicity. And if you haven't heard Jean speak, you're in for a real treat. She's awesome. And I want to mention that she'll be speaking again tomorrow at the TRDA from 1:30 to 3:30. It's free as well. It's our seminar outreach series that we do with them. But tomorrow she's going to be speaking on from mind to market, getting your product from your mind to actually getting it to the market. She is one of our volunteers, and we're very honored to have her. She's been on the Today Show. She's been on like Good Morning America. She's been everywhere. So trust me, her secrets work. So everybody pay very, very good attention to this. Okay.
Can you hear me? Are we okay, there will be a test that follows this, so everybody pay attention. That's good. Welcome, everyone. I always like to find out who has no idea who I am. Usually there's 50% of the people that have never heard who I am or what I do. Can I see a show of hands? Wonderful. I like to see that because that shows you that too much publicity is never enough, because you cannot get enough publicity to really get to every single person in the market. A quick rundown of who I am, or a little background. I was in real estate for 35 years, selling in Brevard County and in South Florida. When the real estate market took a little turn for the worse, I had invented a product for real estate agents called the PUP. Can you all hear me all right? Is this better? Sorry, sound man. Is that better? I invented the PUP. I'm wearing one right now. It's called a personal utility pouch, and it's great when you need a microphone and the wireless microphone adapter. So the personal utility pouch was my claim to fame. I invented it to hold high-tech products for real estate agents. And then the QVC got interested in it, and I used to fly to Philadelphia to the Westchester, Pennsylvania studios and go on live on QVC. But I wanted to tell, how many are here that have heard me or know who I am? A couple people, okay, great. Some things that you all don't know about that is so vital in business when you're marketing yourself. One is 40 years ago, I'm 62 years old, and over 40 years ago, I grew up in South Florida and I wanted to be in show business. I wanted to be on soap operas, as a matter of fact, but that was my passion. I wanted to be in front of the camera, behind the camera. I wanted something to do with television. I went to Southern Illinois University and studied mass communications. I went to California and worked for CBS. I was on a couple daytime soap operas, little background people, in a couple small movies. They weren't even good enough to be called a B movie. They were like C-. So I had a little taste of what it was like, and then I had to go back home in Fort Lauderdale for a family emergency and never got back out to California. Fast forward 4 decades, I find myself up here and selling real estate, and then all of a sudden this PUP product got dropped in my lap that I took, and I used those past skills from 40 years ago and lived my passion and put it in my marketing and my publicity. And you're going to find that you can do the same thing. You'd be surprised at what little hobbies or talents or skills that you have that you can turn it into some publicity. So just to give you an idea what can be done. Now this is without a PR agent, this is without a distribution company, and without a lot of money. I'll give you an idea what you can do in self-publish and self-publicity. Okay, Mr. Video person. Hi, here's a question for you. What do you get when you cross a baby boomer with an entrepreneur? A boomerpreneur, and that's me, Jean Newell. I invented a product called the PUP, the personal utility pouch, and I'm about ready to launch my newest product, the Gizmo bag. What do you think of that, Donnie?
Jean, you go launch, girl, we're ready.
Tired of misplacing your belongings? Well, how about not having enough room to carry all of your necessities with you? Straight ahead, we're going to introduce you to the new personal utility pouch. This isn't for your average fanny pack. It's for boys and for girls, Tom. Yes. You're watching Fox 35 News Week. We'll be back.
I I invented it when I was in real estate, and I was constantly calling my own cell phone. I don't know, that's happened to everybody. I found out that's a universal problem, not just a realtor problem.
So necessity out of this invention here.
Necessity, because I was getting forgetful in my old age.
So that's why we have a really great thing for everybody in the audience. You know, a lot of people walk around carrying all kinds of stuff. You carry, ladies got purses so big that it's kind of crazy. We have this new thing, it's called the PUP pouch. PUP stands for Personal Utility Pouch. Everybody's gonna go home with one. It's unisex, it's durable, you get to carry, it's like a little man purse thing, okay? And so everybody in the audience is gonna get one of those to take home.
Well, I want to show you guys the PUP Personal Utility Pouch, because this is something. Yeah, can you show this?
I got one, thank you.
I'm so glad you like it. I love it. All right. But it has all these compartments for your cell phone, your keys, everything while you're walking the dog. Perfect. So yeah, especially when it's warm out and you're just in your sweats. So everyone in the audience is going home with one today. You're gonna
Today's Fountain of Youth, fearless boomers starting over. Jean Newell is a self-proclaimed boomerpreneur who launched her own successful business. You had this great product in mind, but what were your personal circumstances when you decided to launch this business?
Strictly out of necessity. I was in real estate, and I was juggling 5 electronic devices all day long, in and out of cars in the office. I said, there's got to be a better way.
Traveling though, because you need a place to put your airline ticket, because aren't you always stuffing it in a jacket or in your back? You know, so this would be great for stuffing the ticket in here and the other stuff. You're right.
And ladies, it's small enough to put in the handbag when you're going through airport security, because you know you can only bring one carry-on and then one personal bag. So it goes.
On your hip, you've got both hands free.
Most mothers don't want to hear, "Here, Mom, hold this for me. I don't want to carry it all day." So now every member of the family can have their own pup and their own favorite color.
Absolutely.
It's called a PUP, a personal utility pouch. It has a compartment for your phone, business cards, or whatever you lug around. A fanny pack, you say. A man purse? Newell says, no way.
It looks like a tool belt.
Jean, you got a big break. You took your product and QVC accepted your product.
Yes,
that's like a business in a bottle right there. All of a sudden, you're launched. And so how big a deal was that for you?
It was a big deal. I flew back and forth to Philadelphia from Orlando 35 times in 18 months. They sold over 100,000 of these in record time.
So you're firmly entrenched now. You've got a viable business on your hands. So she's a success story.
Having an idea is one thing, but having the belief in it to risk money, to risk time, to risk effort, and to risk humiliation is another thing. What made you believe in it so much, or believe in your ability to make it work?
Sometimes I wonder myself. Every day is a struggle, but every day you have to believe in yourself. After all, if you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to? Okay, can you all see your own product or service or business up there? Yeah, why not? If I can do it, certainly anybody can do it. Everybody always comes up to me and they'll say, "Gene, that looks like it's awfully hard to do." And I say, it's very simple. It's just not easy. A lot of people don't want to take the time and the inclination and so forth to do all the things that need to be done, but it can be done. Now, what you've been handed out in your or handed as a blue folder, and in your blue folder, I've given you some PR on this pink slip, the PR, how to write a good press release, because that's half the battle, if you can get your information in front of the people that need to know about it. Yes, you need some more? The other thing that you have is a little cheat sheet. And this is to keep in front of your, right on your desk or in your office and at home on your refrigerator in the car, because you want to write out exactly what you're going to say to reporters, because the biggest thing that happens is when you do finally get that call, you panic and you can't think straight. So this is your cheat sheet of your name, And everything else, you'd be surprised. The one part you don't see on the video clip is at the very tail end of the Today Show, after rehearsing 20 questions with Matt Lauer's producer on possible questions that Matt might ask me. At the very end of the 7-minute interview, we did all the business things, and I heard everything, and I knew I'd heard them before, so it wasn't foreign to me. And then Matt turned to me and he said, "What college did you go to?" I couldn't even think what college I went to, and here I am on live television trying to remember 40 years ago what college I went to. So believe me, I finally got out Southern Illinois University, but it was a struggle. So some things like this, sometimes you have to keep in front of you just so you remember what you want to say to the reporters. Now, a lot of people ask me, what's the difference between publicity, marketing, promotion, sales, advertising? It kind of all gets jumbled together. And I found this on the web the other day, and I thought this was so apropos I had to share it with you. By the way, when they told me I only had a half an hour, I panicked because I can't possibly tell you everything in a half an hour. So I've given you some great links on some of these different handouts so you can go there and get some good marketing tips and get into some of these seminars that are on live on TV and so forth. Here's what it said on the web. Someone once defined marketing using the following analogy. If the circus is coming to town and you paint a sign that says, "Circus is coming to town," that's advertising. If you hang the sign on an elephant and parade the elephant through town, that's promotion. If the elephant walks through the mayor's flower bed and destroys it, that's publicity. If you can get the mayor to laugh about that, that's public relations. If you stand outside the tent with a megaphone and tell the townspeople what a great time they will have at the circus, causing them to enter the tent and spend lots of money, that's sales. If you plan the whole thing in advance, that's marketing. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea. Could someone tell me what they think the main source of good marketing or good publicity is? There's only one thing that you have to keep in mind. Can anybody tell me what it is? One thing. What? Enthusiasm is a good one. Planning, but there's one key thing that pulls it all together, and it starts with a W. Word of mouth. Who else said word of mouth? Word of mouth, here comes one over that way. Word of mouth is your key source for getting your information out there. Let's take a look at your flyer that has the little key. We're going to go through these really fast because I couldn't sit and just give you 4 or 5 things. I started typing and typing. I thought, oh my gosh, this is a 4-hour lecture I'm going to have to do in 20 minutes. So here it goes. The whole key is finding the right story. And the one thing that people misunderstand is when you're going for publicity, it's not necessarily about your business or your product or your service. And you go, I don't get it, Jean. How could it not be about that? You have to tie whatever you're doing in with what's happening in the news. And that's how you get on the different news stations and so forth. Is that you, for an example, if, let me just ask somebody, who's got a business? What's your business? Mortgage business. If she called a reporter right now and said, I want to tell you about my mortgage business, they'd go, okay, fine. They probably wouldn't even listen to you because there's how many people selling mortgages in Brevard County? Thousands maybe, right? Banks and mortgage broker, but a broker is different because you can handle different things. Now, how she would get on, maybe into the paper or the local television, is if they were running an article right now about foreclosures or anything to do with mortgage the foreclosures and the new types of mortgages and the short loans, then you call and say, I have a solution to that problem that you just discussed in the paper. Now they're interested in what she does because it's already tying herself to the news. You see, well, you have to take what, give me another business. Who else has a business? A radio station. Do you have, are you just the whole station itself? I'm sorry? The religious radio station. So you're already the media. So that's helpful. But if you wanted to go to the next advancement on the media, again, you would be more apt to contact maybe the 700 Club or something like that, one of the religious national stations, about what your station is doing, as opposed to trying to get it into CNN or something. But again, you tie it into whatever you're doing and find the right. Now, what makes your radio station different? What makes your radio station different? So it would be the Catholic radio station. So again, you'd have to find that story that you can tag onto. That's the most important key. So word of mouth. Now, word of mouth we normally think of as two people talking in the store in public, sharing information about a product. But word of mouth is everything. Everything that is printed is word of mouth. Anytime a person is talking about you or interviewing you, that's a third-party source, and that is word of mouth. I know this is kind of hard to do with this racquetball thing here, right? I'll come in here a little closer. Okay, so you have to come up with the great story. Now remember, it's not about your particular service or industry. It's about how you can make your service or industry or business tap into what's going on in the news. The reason I got on the Today Show had nothing to do with my product, but you didn't see the whole 7 minutes. They talked about my product. They showed clips from QVC. I got lots of sales from it, but I didn't approach them about my product. I approached them about boomers having to over the age 45 or 50 to find new employment. So I emailed them and said, you know, you really need to have a segment about boomers and what happens to the boomers when they have to, you know, start a new business. It's not as easy sometimes as someone coming right out of college and they don't have anything to lose. So that's how they came up with that segment. So you want a great story. Now I've got here, think Tootsie Roll Pop, because the outside news is your hard news. That's what's being broadcast on TV and in your newspapers. Your information, whatever you're doing, is soft news. Yes, you could get that in the people section or the lifestyle section, but the whole key is tagging on to getting into the mass media. You want a short pitch. In other words, try to figure out how you can explain what you do in 30 seconds. So if you do call a reporter or a producer, you can say to them, do you have 45 seconds for a quick story idea? Don't say a minute, because everybody says a minute, and everybody knows it's not going to be a minute. It's going to be 10 minutes. So say 45 seconds. This is going to set them back, because nobody says that. And they're going to go, well, yeah, I guess I have 45 seconds, because you always want to respect the media's time. You always ask for permission, because they're usually juggling 2 or 3 things at the same time, and you want their undivided attention. There are certain times that you call the media. You don't call the noonday anchor at 11:45, okay? You just respect their time. You know what their schedule is and then honor that schedule and call them after their show. Or call them at the end of the day for the Today newspaper. You don't want to call them in the morning. They're trying to get the paper together. All right, so this is the one thing that drives me crazy. When you make that decision that you want media exposure, this is a dedication. Please, please don't call and start pitching your product and then not be available for them when they call you back. I have done an injustice in Brevard County. We have been training people how to pitch to the media, how to send out their press releases, and we've done such a great job of it. And then what's happening? People are calling me and they said, Gene, I just heard from the Good Morning America. And I said, wonderful, when are you going to be on? I don't know, it's on my voicemail, it's been there for 3 days. I go, what do you mean it's been there for 3 days? I'm afraid to call them back, I don't know what to say. I said, oh my gosh, we brought you up to here, but we didn't take you the next level. And we're going to rectify that very soon. because a colleague of mine, Jay Brewer, and I are going to have a seminar, a 3-week seminar that's going to take you to the next plateau so you can feel comfortable. So if you do get called for a national show or even the Today newspaper, you're going to give them a dynamite interview and you're going to be invited back. Because a lot of this information about publicity and marketing is doing such a good job that they want to call you and they want you on their Rolodex as the expert. So here's the key to this is you have to be the expert in your field. If you have a pool cleaning company, you have to get known as the expert in pool cleaning. And I don't mean how to scrub a pool, but you have to be the type of person that will tell you about chemicals and the effect on kids and different pool things that for safety. So if there's ever anything in the paper about pools, you're the one that calls them. It took me about 2 years before I could wrap my head around this, that it's not about me and it's not about my product. It's about how I can make my product or myself newsworthy by wrapping it around something else that's going on in the industry. Anybody, give me another business. I love this. This is going to be good. Who's got a business over here? Taxes. Oi. So, oi. That's my South Florida coming through. Okay, so what she does is she starts hitting the media in late March, mid-March, late March about tax tips. And she doesn't call them and say, hi, I've got a tax account. What is it, a tax company? You do taxes, prepare taxes. The waivers, okay. See, what a media person is looking for is not about your business, but how can they make that interesting to their audience, their viewers, their readers. And just another real estate office or a tax office or a mortgage office or a pup bag is not interesting unless we can show them there's a problem and we're going to solve it. I remember in real estate, I took so many sales classes. I mentioned a lot of you probably were forced to go to these sales classes. They always say, features are not what you sell. You sell what? The benefits. Who said benefits? Oh, they get a newspaper. Hope I don't hit you on the head with it. You sell the benefits. You figure out a way to make your company newsworthy. Let's keep on going here. You make it easy for the interviewer. Remember, you only really get one shot at this interviewer. An interviewer is so much like going in for a job and interviewing for a job. If you blow it, you're not going to get a second chance. So you want to make sure that you are prepared to answer all their questions and you have a cell phone on or whatever number you've given them, that when they call you, they're not going to call you and say, hey, in about a month from now, I might be interested in talking to you. Usually they say, I've got a story right now, and you just email me something, because a lot of this is timing. You just email me something about your business, and by gosh, we're doing a story right now about it. Can you talk to me for 5 minutes? You can't say, well, I got to pick up the kids. No, if you're going to put that out there for the media, you've got to be prepared because they are not going to wait. They're not going to wait. You're going to have one shot at them. So that's the dedication. It's real simple, just not easy. That's right. So we're going to make it interesting easy for the interviewer. Let's go on to the second page real quick. And before I forget, I'm going to send this around because if you're interested in getting that next advanced level on what to do, how to react to the media, get some one-on-one with the media. We're going to actually have media people listening to your pitch, commenting about it, giving you good exposure, and then you're going to go home with this on a video, a little clip of you, sort of like me in the beginning of this, either introducing yourself or we'll do a mock interview with you. If you're kind of interested in this, just give us your information and we'll get back with you on when it's going to be exactly. There will be a fee for it, but it's very reasonable. We're going to have a 3-week session, and that's coming up at the end of September. So, Here's what you have to do, and again, very easy. No, very simple, just not easy. How many of you watch one particular morning show, whatever it is? You watch something? If you're watching, what do you watch? You watch Good Morning America. What if the same time you're watching Good Morning America, what kind of business are you in? Hair extensions, okay. Same time you're watching Good Morning America, she's in hair extensions. The Today Show is showing the newest trend, which are hair extensions. You've missed your opportunity, haven't you? Because you were watching Good Morning America. Well, then you say, well, gee, I can't watch all of them at the same time. Okay, here's what you do. You got your family and friends that say, can I help? Is there anything I can do to help you with your business? And you go, oh, God, no. But there is something you can do. You contact all your friends and relatives and say, what morning show do you watch? If she watches Good Morning America, and you watch CBS, and you watch CNN, and you watch Fox, you say, here's what I want you to do for me. If you see any of these things that they're talking about that relates to my business, and you give them a whole list of things, anything to do with, in your particular case, hair extensions, or what else is there anything else that's in hair, what would be more like celebrities and things that would be of interest, I think, on hair extensions, but it would be hair extensions, or even how to use the hair extensions for the little glitter pieces. And I bet you would love to have those on some big celebrity right now walking around at some Academy Awards or something, wouldn't you? What is that? That would be word of mouth, even though they're not speaking about it. So the key is to get everybody you know to be watching. You can also get all your TV sets that have DVDs, that have VCRs. Start taping these morning shows. Start taping these noonday shows. Start getting all the newspapers, the Orlando Sentinel, the USA Today, the Today newspaper, and start scanning these things. Remember? It's all very simple. What is it? It's not easy, but we can do this if you get other people helping you. So get all these people watching. Okay, so here's an example of how this can work. I had someone call me that read the Orlando Sentinel, because you can't be everywhere, and you can't read everything, and you can't watch everything, right? We agree to that. They called me and they said, Jean, I just saw in the Orlando newspaper that this lady, this columnist, was saying how ugly fanny packs are, but unfortunately, a lot of times we need to wear them because they're handy and they're hands-free. But she was really, you know, ragging on fanny packs and how ugly they are. I said, great. I said, let me get on the newspaper. So I opened up the newspaper online, got her name, called up the Orlando Sentinel, and I said, her first name was Jean. I said, hi Jean, this is Jean Newell. I just read your column. Did I say I don't have the paper? No, you never want to say I don't read your paper. Somebody else had to tell me this. You say, I just read your column. I just saw your news bit. I just read your book, whatever. I just saw your column, and it said about how ugly fanny packs are. I have a solution to that problem. And I told her about it. She got online, looked at it. She said, send me one. The next week, I was on the front page of their style section, all about how wonderful my Mo bag is, how stylish, how trendy. The picture was this big. You know how much that would have cost me if I was to pay for it? Lots. And we're learning. I say the one thing about marketing is you have to use the F word. Do you know what the F word is? Who said that? Who else said the F word? There we go. It's free. You find every way you can to get it free, because why are you paying for something when you can get a third-party person to talk about it for free? And guess what? When they're talking about it, it's 10 times the effect as if you would have taken out that same ad, because it's what? Word of mouth. Can you see how maybe you could tie into this? You're going to go home and you're going to call all your relatives around and find out what they watch. And you're going to tape all the ones that people don't watch. At night, I scan through 3 different TV shows, and until I see whatever the segment is, it's not something I'm interested in, I scan back through it. You will be surprised after a while, it's like a game, how you can figure out a way to use hair extensions on CNN. There'll be a way, believe me, if you start really looking at it. So that kind of brings us up to the last page here. When the things you never want to do, first of all, you're going to start your database. You're going to start finding out who's on first, as they used to say. Look at the Today newspaper. Find out who the business section editor is. Or if it's something more like style, maybe she's not going to be so much into business. Maybe she wants to be in the style and the lifestyle section. This lady over here in mortgages, she might want to be in the real estate section. So you've got to find out who is doing what in the newspaper. Start first at the personal level. Start marketing yourself on your car, on yourself, name tag. Start spreading the word. Then start getting in the community, those little local newspapers that come out on Wednesday. Start getting your feet wet. Don't say, but I'm scared. You just go ahead and get enough confidence to go ahead and try it. You got to kind of experiment locally so you can go big. Now, if somebody has a local business, this lady over here, your mortgage, right? You're going to say, your mortgage. You're going to say, but Jean, I don't need to be on a national show. I do mortgages locally. Let me ask you, do you think your business would increase if you were on Oprah? Yeah. So what does it matter if you've got a local business and you happen to get on a national news show? Do you think it would increase your business? I think so. Okay? So we always want to think national. Even though you're local, think national. Because there's so many free things that you can get involved in. Now at the very bottom here, I've given you some wonderful websites to go to. This first one is the Publicity Hound. That's Joan Stewart. If you get on her email list, she'll send you 89 tips on how to write a good press release. She has free e-zine articles online, a lot of things that you can watch and absorb. The next one is Annie Jennings PR. She is a pretty big who's who in public relations, and she has a lot of free videos on her site as well. Blogspot. Who has a blog? Oh boy. There's a blogger right there. You know, I got to tell you this really quick story. I've learned to be techie. I mean, you know, everybody's got you got to bring your geek gene out. Believe me, you've got to get that out in the front if you're going to do this publicity, because a lot of this stuff is techie, kind of, you know, that great geek quality. 4 years ago, I had a guy, and I didn't know, you know, spiders from roaches at that point on the internet. You know, I didn't understand any of that. The guy writes me an email, and he says, I just went on your website, and I want to let you know I'm going to blog you. I panicked. I had no idea what blog meant. I thought that's a nasty sounding word. It can't be good. It can't be good if it's a blog. So I panicked. I started crying. I'm calling my friends. What does this mean? I don't know what it means. Weird research. It took me 3 hours before somebody told me that's a good thing. I said, well, then why didn't they call it something nicer, like Blinky or something, but blog? So get yourself a blog. They're free. They're really a website. It's just like a little mini website. You can go to blogspot.com, and in 10 minutes, you're up and going. Just post a few little things, because the key to getting free publicity, to get the word out, is you have to be known as what? Who said expert? We've got more newspapers. Who said expert? Oh boy, there's my arm. Who else said expert? You have to be known as the expert. It doesn't matter if you're really the expert in your field, but you have to be known as the expert, because how many people can remember, I'm just going on the sideline here, but how many people can remember the pet rock? Did we need a pet rock? Was it something mandatory? Did you actually get one for a gift probably, or buy one for a gift? Why? Because it was known as the end product. It was marketed as something unique. We paid $3.95 for that in 1976 for a rock that cost 2 cents. Okay, so if somebody can market a rock, Why can't you market what you're doing? Evidently you know it, love it, or are expert at it enough that you started a business doing it. Does that help? Does anybody have any questions so far on what we need to do? And I'll tell you another secret is to get video on your website. Who does not have a website yet? And don't pay a lot of money for websites. There are companies that can provide a website for you with video. I have a company that it's like less than $20. You can get a website and you're up and going and it's a template. Don't spend a lot of money having somebody design a website for you. Get in there, get a website. You have to get the word out. So that's basically, I think my time is up. It isn't? Questions? Yes, ma'am. I'll come over so you can hear.
I'd like to know, like, if you're trying to promote like a TV show for Disney, what protection can I do free on the internet or whoever? I mean, I know some attorneys, but they're not really theatrical attorneys, but you know, I want to make sure that when I present this whole huge idea that I'm protected.
I'll tell you what we're going to do tomorrow, and Don Miller-Kermani mentioned it. Tomorrow at TRDA, we're doing From Mind to Market. We'll put this back on. Excuse me for making a wrap. And this is going to... Hello? Are we still there? We're going to have a seminar at TRDA that shows people all the steps it takes to protect yourself, how to start a product, how to get it marketed. And there'll be an attorney there that's going to talk on different ways to patent things. But what you might want to do is get with him afterwards, because he does free consultations, and find out exactly what you need to know, because there might be a different type of an attorney. Like you said, she's trying to market a show for Disney. And that's part of the process is everything kind of has to happen at one time when you're designing a product or service. You want to protect yourself.
So where and when will this be?
At TRDA, they have flyers. Before you leave, Don will give you a flyer. It's on, I always get confused. Is it NASA Boulevard? I think. I go there, I don't know where it is. I get confused. Who else has a question? Anybody else have a question? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry?
Website for
the blogs?
Yeah.
What kind of websites?
You were talking about a website that you say you pay $20 for.
Oh, go on my website, jeannewell.com, and email me if the little link isn't there. They give you a free month to try it. I'll send you how to get the information. Start writing articles about your business or service and submit them on ezine.com. Again, free website. But what happens to these articles and different things you're doing is your blogs and your articles act as another website. And we don't have enough time to go into all the different website optimizations, but the more things you have out there on the internet, the more sources you are all pointing to your website and your name, and all of a sudden, if somebody Googles, go home and Google search me. I'm on the first, well, that just sounds nasty, doesn't it? Between blog and Google. And who'd ever think that Google would be an adverb or a verb? I guess it is verb. So Google search me and you'll see I have videos from different sources, and then what happens is people start taking your videos and putting them on their website and your information, and all of a sudden people go, oh, they must be an expert in their field, because a lot of times your reporters and your interviewers, they want to research you a little bit before they give you a shot. And it's like one of those things where you've got to have experience, but how do you get experience? So if the more things that show that you've been doing things in seminars and articles, it gives you a starting point, so when you are interviewed, at least they feel like you're going to do a good job. But sign up, put your name on that sign-up sheet, because this thing we're going to have in September is going to be something so spectacular. It's going to send you far beyond what we could teach you in marketing. Thank you so much for your time. Did you learn something?